ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის მსოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
Hello, dear chess friends. This is Batumi with the World Youth Championship under 8 and 12 Open and Girls section. We have more than 750 players here from 69 different countries. Tomorrow we are having the round number 7 after the rest day. Also, it's a rainy day today in Batumi and we have the excellent atmosphere for playing chess. We will be back shortly to you as the games will be in progress and we will continue broadcasting.
სექტემბერი მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის მსოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
Here we are back. I am Grandmaster Valeri Gaprindashvili. I'll be with you today. So we have round number 7 and we can start. I will start with the open section under 12 where on the first board we have Uskov Artyom with white playing against Ding. I will announce you the ranking in the tournament. So on the first board we have with the max score, this is Ding and Ho. He has 6 points out of 6 and only one player has 5.5 and this is Uskov Artyom. So that will be quite important, decisive and a tough game of course. As we have only one player with the 6 points and only one player with the 5.5 points. We have a Karakan defense here with the E5 line, quite interesting beginning with the white pawn on E6, which is hoping much to give the advantage to white. So we will see of course later how it continues. Let's go to the board number 2. Here we have Movahed Sina playing against Sovinsky. So after 6-pointer Ding and 5.5 Uskov, we have 5 players with the 5 points. So we have two pairs with them and one 5-pointer went down. So on the board number 2 we have Movahed Sina and Sovinsky Powell with 5 points out of 6. Here we have also Karakan defense. Let's take a look how it was from the beginning. It's very nice and the tricky thing done by Sovinsky. He played 1, 2, 3 moves with the queen, and I have doubts the 4th move also will be done on the next move. So the thing is that the blacks are threatening on G2 and C2 on the same time. I'm sure the white will have the compensation for that pawn, but it will be definitely the very interesting game. The next pair with the 5 points. Here we have Lysenkov Sviatoslav against Besov Hussein. Both of them are having 5 points. They are playing on the board number 3. Here we also had Karakan. So as you see, this is quite popular opening for today's day. I mean, on the round number 7, on the top 3 boards, we have Karakan defense. So it was E5, C5 line. Yes, okay, the theory says it has to be slightly better for white, but not in this line. So I think here the position will be almost equal after a couple moves. And the next board number 4, here we have one player with the 5 points out of 6. This is Bukrev Stanislav, and he's playing against Mamedov Edgar, who has 4.5 points. By the way, Mamedov Edgar is in the top 3 with the start ranking. His number is number 3 by rating. so he has to be one of the favorites in the tournament. He already lost 1.5 points, but of course he will do his best and he will try to get back in the top places. So let's see, today his opponent is Bukreev Stanislav, who is doing quite good tournament. And let's see how it continues. We have the Benoni system here. Okay, let's say nothing special is happening for now. In the girls section, under 12, we have on the first board Geladze Kesaria playing against Kali Ahmed El Naz. So the situation after 6 rounds here is that the 3 players are having 5.5 points out of 6. So on the first board we have both of them with 5.5 points. Of course it will be a quite decisive game, as this fight is between the favorites of the tournament. So let's see who will do better. Take a look what was until this moment, what did they play. So as you know, Geladze is not doing this, okay, I can't say the opening, it is kind of structure that she's choosing all the time with white, and black decided to play like this. So later was, okay, nothing special is happening for now. The position is very close to equal. So Geladze is also the player who is betting everything on the middle game, not on the opening. Okay, in the opening she is playing quite interesting structures. I think she feels well there, that's why she is doing so. And let's see how they're gonna fight today. On the next board with the 5.5 points, we have Shubhi Gupta with black, who is playing against Ismailova Khanim. Ismailova has 5 points, as one other player also. I mean, I just want to say that there are only 2 players with the 5 points. So in total we have 5.5 pointer players, 3 of them, and then we have 2 players with the 5 points. One of them is Ismailova Khanim. Yes, it's just the beginning, everything is is ahead. So let's see how they will do their best on the next part of the game. Board number 4, we have Merkulova playing against Holavko. So Holavko is that another player with the 5 points, and she is playing against Merkulova, who already has 4.5 points out of 6. So we have the Sicilian defense here with the bishop b5 line. Nothing special for now. In the open section, under 10, on the first board we have Liu Patrick playing against Mendes Aaron. Mendes Aaron, who is doing the excellent tournament. He's showing an excellent performance, so it is very interesting how he continues, if he continues the same manner or he will do better, which will be actually excellent. And Liu Patrick, who is also a real fighter here. We have 2 players with 5.5 points out of 6. This is, one of them is Mendes, so I just want to mention that here the player with the white, Liu, has 5 points out of 6, and Mendes has 5.5. Seems like black does not have any special problems in the opening. The position is very close to equal. On the second board we have Unsal playing against Vivan. So Unsal, exactly the guy who has 5.5 points, and he is playing against the 5-pointer opponent. This is Vivan Vishal Shah. Both of them are doing the great chess in this tournament, and let's see how they will fight in this game. The position for white seems slightly better, but nothing special. And the next board we have 5 pointers. These are Go Ethan and Shilon Rahav with the Sicilian defense with a very classical line. Next board, also board number 4, we have Kleimenov against Kocharyan. Kleimenov is a guy who lost yesterday, otherwise he was the leader of the tournament. Now he is having 5 points and playing against Kocharyan, who also has 5 points out of 6. Nothing special is happening here also in the opening. Next board we have also the 5 pointers, board number 5. This is Radzimski playing against Dushatov. Slightly better for white, but just a little bit. A very well-known pawn structure, and usually blacks are not having any special problems in this pawn structure. Of course, it depends on the techniques of the player. So as in this kind of positions, tactical skills are not doing as much as the understanding of the chess and the techniques to choose the correct plans, and so on. Okay, let's go to the next board. Next board we have board number 6, where Golis Victor is playing against Kuntelia Luka from Georgia, and this guy is the last player who has the 5 points in this group. He is playing against the Golis Victor, who has 4.5 points. We have Sicilian defense also here without any unexpected things. Now we go to the girls section under 10. On the first board we have Venskaya against Igoshkina. So Venskaya, just to remind you that on the round number 6 Venskaya was in a worse position, but she was fighting like a lion, and later she won the game at all. So it means that the chess player has a great skills to fight till the end. So she has 5.5 points, and she is sharing the first place with only one another player. About her we will talk later. So this is board number 1, Venskaya against Igoshkina. Igoshkina is with black, and she has 5 points out of 6. So the position is just the beginning without any unexpected things. White played quiet beginning. I mean, they are not like having a advantage. I mean, they are. It seems like Venskaya is playing based not on the opening, but the structure where she feels okay, and she will try to do her best in the middle game to get the advantage. Board number 2, we have Cisco against Basari. So Cisco is another player with 5.5 points, another and the last player. So as I told you, Venskaya and Cisco, they are having 5.5 points out of 6. Basari was doing a great tournament until the last round, where she was also fighting well, but because of some petty mistakes she lost the game. She shouldn't lose that game, but okay, she lost that game. We have what we have. Today is a new day, and let's see how they will fight here, as both of them, I think that they are one of the best players in their section. So it will be quite tough and a complicated game here in the girls section under 10 on the board number 2. Now we go to board number 3. They have 5 points out of 6. This is Mirzakhani against Miagmar. Also just a beginning without any unusual and unexpected things. Okay, whites are having slightly better position because of the space. So that was the pair with the 5 points. And the next pair here, only a player with the black colors has 5 points. And the white, they have 4.5. With the white pieces, it's Zavivaeva Kristina playing against Anu Bayart Uchral, who has, as I already told you, 5 points out of 6. Here we have already the end game. After half an hour of playing, we have the end game, and the position is of course almost equal without any special things here also happening. Now we go to the open section under 8, where we have the very shining leader here. This is Shokgiev with black. He's doing the, what to say, he's doing the excellent tournament, and of course it's not enough to play only 6 rounds with a high quality, and I'm sure he will try his best in the rest of the rounds, games, and mostly I hope that he will do more, he will improve. What he is already doing, it is already very good, and he is doing the excellent chess, but he is too young and he has to improve and improve, not day after day, but I think the minute after minute. So let's see what kind of game we have here. This is the Sicilian defense with the c3 line, and let's see later how they will do their best, as the opponent that Shokgiev is having today is Banerjee Supratit, who is also a very good player. He's with white. He has 5.5 points out of 6. He's the only player who is running after Shokgiev. He's the only one who has 5.5 points. And in case he will win this game, then he will be the new leader of the tournament. So this is a, I can say that in this tournament, maybe this game is the most decisive that ever we had, and could be that it will be the most decisive one even in those games which they have to play on the next days. On the board number 2, we have Larry Mark against Konovalov Timofey. These are the pair of 5-pointers. So here we have 4 pairs of 5 points. So we have 8 players with the 5 points. So one more time. On the first place, we have Shokgiev, 6 out of 6. Second place, we have Banerjee Supratit with a 5.5 points out of 6. Dear chance friends, we were having some technical issues. Pardon us for that. So we continue with the open section under 8, where we have on the second board Ana Puredi playing against Ayapan Santos. Sorry, the third board with the 5 points. And okay, Ayapan is already in trouble. We can see that as the knight is hanging, and for example, if he will play rook c8, I think here it's even possible to capture on a7. Seems like whites are gaining some material. Let's see what Ayapan will do after the thing that he blundered, we can say like that he blundered this, all of those things connected to bishop b5, queen a4 and knight e5 that Ana Puredi did. So as you see, Ana Puredi is quite an active player. If I remember correctly, he's from Australia. Just a second, I will just double check it. Yes, he is a representative of Australia, the excellent country that I love too much, and I have a very nice connections to this country, and I love to go to that country all the time. That's only one trouble with it, that it is too far away. But you see that Ana Puredi did that long travel, and he's doing his best in the World Championship. So okay, what to say there for the people who arrived to Georgia from very far away? I will wish you them a very good luck. Let's see what will be in this game later. Now we go to the board number 4, where we have also 5 pointers. Here Safin is playing against Xie Joshua. Here is also nothing unexpected is happening. So, and the last pair with the 5 points on the board number 5. Here we have Gorei Shiamiri against Nguyen Trong. Also a very well-known position without any unexpected things. It will be a very interesting day in this section. I'm totally sure of that. Let's go to the girl section under 8. That's the last section that we left to review. I mean the beginning part of the game to review. Here we have Zhumambayeva playing against Sivanandan Bodhana. Let's take a look at the ranking of this section. So this is Zhumambayeva with white, who is having 5 points, and Sivanandan Bodhana is having 5.5 points. We have here 2 leaders of the tournament with 5.5 points. The second one is sitting on the board number 2, that we go there soon. And here we have Zhumambayeva with white with the 5 points, which will try her best to win today, because she has less points than the opponent. Also a quite well-known position with the equal chances for both of the players. Let's see how they will do later. And on the board number 2 we have Charvi with white. She has I mean, she is another leader of the tournament. She has 5.5 points out of 6, and playing with the 5-pointer opponent, it is Berikizi Alana. That will be also the tough game, and the long game. We can see it from the beginning, the typical Spanish defense without any unusual things. And next, what we have here on the board number 3, we have the pair of the 5-pointers. This is Sholpanbek against Machina. This is a structure which was a lovely one for Mr. Robert James Fisher. He was doing that quite much with white, and he was doing it with a pleasure and good results. So let's see how Scholpenberg will do this structure and this opening with white. Of course, the position is close to equal, and it completely depends who will do the better chess in the game. But that was just for information that this structure was the lovely one for Robert James Fisher. And the next pair, that's not with the 5 points, both of them. Here only black has 5 points out of 6. This is Rzadkovskaya Lila against Makhmudova. Makhmudova is the one who did the very petty blunder in the previous round, not yesterday. Yesterday was a rest day. So in the round number 6, she made a huge blunder, and after that, of course, the game was just losing. She did everything she can do. She played a long game even after that blunder, but the evaluation was not changing as the opponent was doing also very well, and Makhmudova lost the game. So here now she is with white with the 4.5 points against Rzadkovska, who is doing a good tournament, and she has 5 points out of 6. Here also nothing unusual and unexpected is happening. Blacks are close to equalize the position. Let's see what it will be later. So that was the quick review of the beginning of the games of the round number 7. I already announced you the rankings also. Now we will do the short break. We will be back shortly with I think in most of the games the openings will be over, and the real fighting will start. So we will join you shortly.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის. მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
ფიდეს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
Hello, dear chess friends. We continue our broadcasting. Here is Valeri Gaprindashvili with you. And we immediately go to the games. Let's start with the open section under 12. The first board we have Uskov Artyom playing against Ding. I'm asking, yes, here we have the board, and it seems like Uskov was very well prepared for this opening, as he is having a very big advantage from the beginning. Let's take a look at the moves that was done in this game. So from the beginning it was Caracan defense and g4 line after e5 and e6. And queen d3. This is the position. Yes, it's just an advantage for white. They have a choice. They can do queen g6 check, for example. That makes sense. Let's take a look at this interesting line, for example, queen g6 and queen f7. Knight c7 and knight g6. What's going on here? The f8 bishop is hanging. Also bishop f4 is hanging. Here can be the interesting move bishop knight h6, but in that case we just capture this and then capture on f8. On rook h6 we capture on f8. But I think that after queen f7 it could be very interesting to play knight h6 immediately, as if the queen takes on f8 then king c7. Now queen is hanging, and on queen take g7, rook g8. That could be. So could be that queen g6 is not necessary, and the white can just continue developing and just do the castle, as the king side of black is quite stacked, which is giving the advantage for white. Of course, it's not game over, it is very far away from that, but whites are having a better chances to win the game. On the next board we have Movahetsina against Sovinsky, also with a very unusual beginning. And let's take a look how it was happening until this moment. It was a Caracan. Okay, we already said that we have the Caracan defense in the top 3 boards of the open section under 12. So this is board number 2, where Movahetsina is playing against Sovinsky. And Sovinsky start doing the moves with the queen. He did 3 moves. He did the 4th move with the queen, 5th move with the queen. It's nice, no? 5th, 5 moves with the queen out of 10. So half of the moves black did with the queen, but they are pawn up. Don't forget that they are pawn up. Okay, it's clear that the whites are threatening to capture on f7. But what's going on if the black will play queen e6? I agree that bishop e6 is also possible. Okay, they already had the moves. So, yes, black played queen e6 and white immediately answered with the queen e. g4 is hanging. How dangerous is that? That's another question. So, for example, if the black play knight d7, now bishop g4, then I'll play f5 with black. That will not be good for white. Because if the black will trade the queens, then that's it. All problems gone, and they will be just pawn up in the endgame. Yes, okay. To me, it seems knight d7 is the best. And it is kind of forcing trading the queens. Oh, that's interesting, that's interesting. We see that Movahed is having some troubles in the opening, as he has to get the initiative for the being pawned down. He just pawned down. Okay, next board. For the 5 pointers, here we have Lysenkov against Beso Hussein. Very well known position without any unusual things, almost equal, okay, let's say like this, nothing special is happening. And the next board we have Mamedov Edgar with 4.5 points against Bukrev, who has 5 points. And here we have the amazing pawn range for white, the pawns on e5 and d6. Last move the black played, it was h6. And now it is white to move. If they could not hold this pawn range, then it will be a big trouble as they are hanging. So they have to be very active and aggressive. e5 pawn is not okay, it's kind of hanging, but if the black will capture on e5, then their pawns also will be hanging on c5 or h6. It depends how they capture on e5. If they capture with the knight, then c5 pawn is hanging. If they capture with the bishop, then h6 pawn is hanging. So let's see what Mamedov will decide to play in this moment. Girls action under 12. On the first board, Geladze Kesaria playing against Kali Ahmed El Nas. Last move was played knight e2. The position seems like better for white, as they have the more space. They have more space, definitely. And that gives them to develop easily, to continue the development and then start playing the active moves. It depends where the opponent will do the castle. White can try to attack the king. So blacks are having some problems with development, and also their pieces are not kind of connected to each other. Okay, I'm not saying that the black has any special troubles. No, that's not so. But it is just better to play here with the white than with the black. Let's go to the next board, where we have Ismailova against Shubhi, who is having 5.5 points, and Ismailova having 5 points. Complicated position and the complicated game with the equal chances for both. Then we have Merkulova against Holyavko with also almost equal position. Now we go to the open section. Lou Patrick against Mendes. This is open section under 10. Here we have Mendes with black against Lou Patrick. It is white to move. It is white to move. Okay, it is a fact that the black does not have any problems from the opening. From other side, the whites are also quite okay. The position, okay, I will tell you without evaluation of the position that smells with the draw too much. We are using these words a couple times in the previous rounds, and it happened like we expect. It went to the draw, so let's see if this game also will go to draw, as the smell is like that for now. Next board we have Unsal against Vivan on the board number 2. A better position for white, that's for sure. They have advantage. Next we have Goitan against Shilon Rahav. Very unusual position here we have also. It is black to move. It is black to move, and let's see what they will decide to play. Position is quite complicated. And the last board here, no, it's not the last board we will review. We will go ahead as we have more fights. On the board number 4 here we have Kleimenov against Kocharian with the 5 points. The equal position. Next board we have Radzimski against Dushatov Timur. Slightly better for white, as a black could not capture on b2. Okay, that's a fact because of rook b1. White are trapping the queen, and otherwise if the black queen goes, yes, they played on d8, then the position is just slightly better for white. But nothing special, as the main problem what could be in this kind of pawn structure is a light square bishop for black on c8. When there is no dead bishop on the board and they already trade that bishop, it is already okay. It's already okay with the, okay, let's say it slightly better for white, but nothing special. Next board and the last board in this group we review. This is Golis against Kuntelia. Kuntelia is last in the group, who has 5 points, and Golis has 4.5 points. So they are playing against each other. The last move was bishop d7. And again, the typical Sicilian position where both of the opponents are fighting and trying to get the initiative, as this is very important. They have the opposite side castle, so it's very important who will be the first, who will be more active and who will gain the initiative. Girls section under 10. On the first board, Venskaya against Igoshkina. with the equal position. What to say here? Board number 2, Cisco against Valeri. Also equal position. Next we have Mirzahani against Myanmar. Slightly better for white. And the last we review here is Zavivaeva against Anu Bayard Uchral. Last move was e4. Okay, position is very close to equal as the white can capture everything on e4. Like this and trade the last rook. Black has to be careful. Black has to be careful as their pawn structure is not the best. From other way, the whites are not also creating any special problems to black, but black has to be with more attention as they have some weaknesses to support, and the white's position is like problem free. They don't have any kind of weaknesses, so the white gonna try to play this game to win. But let's see. Obviously, the position is equal. Next, we have the open section under 8. Banerjee with white and Shokjiev with the black. It is black to move. The position is equal for now. Next board we have Larimar against Konovalov. Here also we have the equal position without anything unexpected. Then we have Annapuredi against Ayapan. So, what happened in this game? Let's take a look from the beginning, as it was very interesting things happening from the very early opening here. So this is what Ayapan blundered. That's a fact, and let's take a look how he did later. Rook c8, take on a7 as we were saying. Queen c7. Okay, what to say? Blacks are just pawn down. A pity blunder. White capture on c6, then capture on c7. I'm not sure about capturing on c5. I'm not sure about that. We can just take a look. Maybe just taking on c6 and king e2 makes sense, just to improve the pieces. Annapuredi did not decide to do like that. He captured on c5. Okay, he needs more attention. a4. Whites continue after they gain the pawn. I actually don't like it. So the position is like that. After knight e5, white played f4 and black played knight d7. That a pawn could not go far away. For example, on a4 immediately. I think it makes sense here to play rook a8 A4 seems to me dangerous for white, as they can lose that pawn. They can lose that pawn. Yep. Okay, in the game was knight e5, rook a2. I mean knight e5, f4, knight d7, rook a2. After knight c5, no, black has a dream. After that blunder, they are having just a dream that they have the position that they can only dream about. They are pawned down, but they got some chances. I mean, the white gave the chances. It didn't come like after the complicated lines or the problems that the blacks were creating. No, white did all of this with their own wish. Next board we have Safin playing against Joshua. The last move was bishop d5. The black's king seems a little bit dangerous. A little bit dangerous. Also, that pawn on e5 needs to be supported. Also, there is a pin. Too many things happening, Mr. Xia. Too many things are happening. So, for example, I think black does not have e4 because of knight d4. Now f4 makes no big sense because there will be queen c3. If the black will play bishop d7, then white captures, and knight e6 fork to the queen. So a lot of threats here, a lot of threats happening. Xia Joshua has to be with the too high attention. Now we go to the open section under 12 again. So we'll start from the beginning. Oh, after rook h8 here we have no new moves from Uskov. So it seems like he is thinking for the last 15 minutes. Maybe more. Okay, I could not say that there is not a moment to think. Exactly, he has to think, but more than the 15 minutes is not necessary. Usually what the chess player can find at all, he can find it in 15 minutes, max. After 15 minutes, it's just only, rudely we can say it is time wasting. It is kind of being in doubts, maybe this, maybe that, which is not the correct mindset. I mean, it's not fruitful at all. It's not giving us any goods. So maybe there is some technical issues with the moves and we are not getting them, but okay, it is a fact that we have the same position as it was 20 minutes ago. Next board we have, what? Sovinsky, this, no, let's see what happened. It was not like f5, as it is white to move here, so let's see, queen e6, queen e2. Okay, this position we are considering and saying that it's good to play knight d7. Instead of that, they play f6, and on bishop g4 they play f5. Bishop f3. Okay, at least now knight d7. At least now. It's just necessary to play knight d7. Just necessary. But after knight d7, okay, it's very difficult to say what kind of compensation Movahead has. And if there is any compensation at all. Not sure about that. Not sure about that. Okay. Next we have Lysenkov against Beso Hussein. Nothing unexpected. It seems like it will be a very long game and a complicated one. Next board we have Mamedov against Bukreev Stanislav. What was the last move? Last move was bishop e3 and b6 for black. Black's pieces seems like quite connected to each other. After b6 they want to develop the bishop on b7. And the white has to hold that pawn range, that space. Otherwise, if they lose even one of them, that will be like a big trouble. It will be a big trouble. On the next, we are going to the girls section. This is board number 1, where nothing has changed, the same position, slightly better for white. Board number 2, we have Ismailova Hanim against Shubhi. Last move was bishop e6. Yeah, very complicated position with the chances to both of the sides. Then we have Merkulova against Kholyavko. Kholyavko became pawn up. How it happened? Let's take a look. This was the position. Sorry, it's not pawn up. She sacrificed the exchange for the pawn. She sacrificed the exchange for the pawn. And of course having the compensation. Very nice to see the things like that. Black has the compensation but nothing more, so it is still with the equal chances. Any of the sides could win this game. Any of them. Now open section under 10. Okay, we already talked a lot of this game and this position, that it smells like a draw. Next is Unsal against Vivan. Yes, here we have the same position also. It's very strange. Okay, whites are with the advantage. Then we have Guo against Shilon, where Shilon decided to do the short castle, and now white has to choose what to play, some quiet move or play rook d7. Let's see which one he will decide. Here we have Kleimenov against Kochorian. Equal position. Radzimsky against Dushatov. A very interesting position. If the white will not keep the initiative, then their position will be very bad. Does not matter that they are pawn up. This is a very bad pawn structure they are having. Also the opposite color bishops. So staying in defense will be just very bad. The question is who will get the initiative first, and somehow I think the blacks are having a very good chance for that. And the last board here in this group to review, this is Goris against Contelia. Contelia is a pawn down, but it's absolutely nothing for this position. He is having the compensation for that pawn. Let's see how he will continue the attack. Girls action under 10. Venskaya against Igoshkina. Igoshkina's position seems absolutely okay, without any problem for black. But also whites are not having any special troubles. Second board, we have Sisko against Bassari. Nothing much has changed here also than 20 minutes ago. Only one move is done. The position is very close to equal. Then it's Mirzahani against Miegmar. Slightly better for white. And the last board to review, this is Avivaeva against Anu Barty. Anu decided to sacrifice the pawn to have the initiative. And that makes sense. That always makes sense. Okay, let's see what Avivaeva will do. Here is a position that any of the sides could win this. Everything could happen there. Next, we have open section under 8, Panagiri against Shogiev. The position is with the same style, with the isolated pawn on the board, without any problem for black. I'll tell you straightly, without any problem. The position is mostly equal. Next, we have Larry Mark against Konovalov Timofey. Also very close to equal. Anna Puredi against Ayapan. It seems to me there is a blunder. There is a blunder that white did. Okay, yes, I don't know what happened with this player after the opponent blundered. So Anna Puredi trapped the opponent, gained the pawn, and after that he's not doing the best moves. He's not doing the best moves, but let's see. Next board we have Safin with white playing against Xia. Yes, we were looking at this position, so blacks are still thinking. After our last comment, nothing has changed. And the last section to review, this is Zhumanbaeva against Sivanandan Bodhana. Oh, they went to the end game. In the end game, blacks are having more chances. How it was, let's take a look. Trading the queens. I would not trade the queens with white. Next, Charvi against Berikizi. Charvi is a pawn up. Just pawn up, technically winning position, so I think she will not miss that point in the score sheet. Sholpanbek is against Machina. Very complicated position from James Fisher's repertory. And the last board to review here is Mahmudova with white against Zarkovska Lila. And what's going on here? Mahmudova is 2 pawns down. How it happened? Very interesting. So this was here. Oh, 1 pawn gone. Another pawn gone. Oh, strange. Strange. Whites are 2 pawns down. That will be very difficult for Mahmudova. That will be very difficult. Okay, dear chess friends, now we will do the short break again, and already with the middle games we'll be back to you shortly.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
Hello dear chess friends, we're back and we continue broadcasting. We go to the open section under 12. So that was the last position where we stopped, where we review it. After that, couple moves already played. Let's take a look at them. That was queen g6 check, king d8 and queen d3 back. This is what happened. So the point is that the black does not have king c7 move because of knight g6 and the rook is hanging on h8 and also bishop f4 is hanging. So that's why after queen d3 in the game was knight h6. Pardon me, I didn't do the correct thing. So after king c7 here, knight g6, it could be done queen takes e6, king d1. Now rook on h8 is hanging and on rook h7 there will be knight f8, rook f8 and queen takes h7. So that's why black in this position, they played knight h6 and the white played king d1. Now king c7 is impossible again because of knight g6. Rook is hanging and when the rook goes somewhere then bishop f4. So let's see what Dean will play here. He's in trouble. That's easy to see. He's in trouble. Let's see how they will continue playing this game. Next board we have Moahed Sina and okay, knight d7 happened finally. Whites are still pawned down, but what was the main idea for black to trade the queens? They could not do that. They could not do that. It means that there will be kind of compensation for that. That will be the tough game. I think the black missed the chance to get the big advantage by trading the queens to play knight d7 immediately instead of f6. Next board we have Lysenkov against Besol Hussein. Yeah, okay, equal, okay, let's say slightly better for white, but nothing special is happening in this game for now. And Mamedov played queen d5, rook a7. That's the last moves from the position that we reviewed a couple minutes ago. Queen d5 and rook a7. Black still wants to play bishop b7. They still want to capture on e5. Let's see. It will be a very tough game also. So all of them are tough actually for today. But the board number 3 is like a quiet position. So let's go to the girls section under 12. Here we have Geladze Kesaria against Kali Ahmed Elnas. Yes, Geladze is having the advantage. His position is better. She has her position is better. She has more space and well developed pieces. on the same time when the black does not have castle yet on the board, and they don't have developed all their manor pieces. So whites are better. Next board we have Ismailova Khanim against Shubhi. Shubhi is threatening to play e4 to do the double threat. They are threatening to do the checkmate on h2 after the knight goes somewhere, and the knight is hanging. So that was their point when they play bishop e. Pardon me. When they play bishop b8, that's the threat that they create. Of course, it will not be difficult to protect that threat, but the position actually is without any problem for black, without any problem, maybe even slightly better. So Ismailova gonna have the quite tough game today. Next we have Merkulova against Holyavko. Holyavko, we know that she sacrificed the exchange and having some compensation, but nothing more, not more, just a compensation for that pawn. Mostly we can evaluate this position as a equal chances, with the equal chances for both of the players. Next board here, next section here, we have open under 10. The first board, we said it smells with a draw. I am on the same opinion. Okay, slightly better chances for white. Slightly better chances, but nothing special. Next we have Unsal against Vivan. Here it seems technically winning for white. This is technically winning. So Unsal is winning the game. Next we have Go Ethan against Shilov Rahav. Last move was rook takes d8, so black will capture on d8 also. And this will be the position. Black has to be happy with going to the endgame. They have to be happy, sure. But here is some initiative could appear with rook h6, maybe. Yes, rook h6 is giving some initiative to white. Let's see. Let's see if Go Ethan will play rook h6 here. This is a position of their board. Let's wait a little bit because it is very interesting moment. It's very interesting. He will play that rook h6 or not. Yes, they are thinking. They are thinking. It means that they were not like ready to play it immediately. Let's see if they will do it later. Then we have Kleimenov against Kocharian. Kocharian sacrificed the pawn and he's having the compensation. Definitely, they have the compensation. Maybe not more than the pawn, but there is a compensation already on the board. Here we have Radzimsky against Dushatov. Yes, and here, you know, after that nice sacrificing of the pawn that Dushatov did, he got the initiative, and as he got the initiative, it means that his position will be better. It has to be better because in the opposite color bishops we know that it is very important to have the initiative. So let's see how they will continue. I'm thinking about a very interesting move, rook b3. That will be interesting. Yeah, that will be the tough game. Let's take a look at that later. And the last board to review here is Collis with white against Kuntelia with black. Last move was rook c4. Kuntelia wants to capture on c4 with the rook. He played rook c6. Otherwise, he could capture on c4 immediately, even with the queen like this. And the position is absolutely okay, but he played rook c4. It's interesting what he gonna do on b3. He will play rook c3 or he will capture on a4. Capturing on a4 also makes sense, because if the white captures like this, then rook b1 check, king e2, rook h1 with a very big advantage in the endgame. So here whites are kind of forced to capture with the pawn, and on rook b1 play rook c1, take on a4. I think this is also a big advantage. Here queen is much better than the rook because of the safety of the king and the passed pawn that the black has on a file. And don't forget that it is the extra pawn. It's not like the equal pawns. It's like a queen and the pawn against the two rooks. But here queen is much better than the two rooks. Yeah, interesting. This guy Kuntelia has 5 points out of 6, and in case he wins the game, it will be 6 out of 7, which is not bad at all. Let's go to the girls section, under 10. Here we have Venskaya Nika against Igoshkina Anna. Seems like a equal position. Seems like a equal, but okay, complicated. Then we have Cisco against Valeri. Wait, I don't understand one thing. Where the piece gone? Where the Cisco's piece gone? And there was a blunder, or what happened? She's piece down. Okay, let's take a look a while ago how it was. That was the position where we were saying that the position is mostly equal. So knight d7, take, bishop c4 castle, knight g5. I just don't understand why white did that on their own wish. They made some tactical complications, and in the end they are piece down. Okay, for the two pawns, but those pawns are not making any sense for now. So blacks are better, definitely. Then Mirzakhani against Miegmar, with slightly better position for white. And the last board that we have here to review, this is Zavivaeva against Anu Bayart, where Anu sacrificed one pawn, and now she's sacrificed another pawn. And the game was knight takes d3. Anu get one pawn back. Now she is threatening to play e2. So white has to be super careful. e2 is hanging, so knight c3, what else? But what's the next that the blacks are doing? So, for example, knight f4, I can't see any better move. Rook takes d8, king takes d8. Now e2 is hanging, so whites are forced to play king c2. Maybe take on g2, king d3. That could be the position. f5 is kind of forced to play. Now for white it's possible to play even f4, and if the black captures then I capture, that's okay for white. And also possible knight d5, f4. Yes, it seems like f4 is necessary to play with white here. And it will be very close to draw. Okay, don't run ahead. I will not say too much in advance. Let's see how they will continue playing here. Let's go to the open section under 8. Where Banerjee is playing against Shokjiev. Shokjiev, the player that is doing the excellent tournament, is having the equal position now. He has a chance to win this game, but okay, obviously the position is equal. Next we have Larry Mark against Konovalov. It's black to move, of course, they will capture on d3. Yes, it's slightly better for white, it's slightly better, but nothing so special. And next we have Anna Puredi here against Ayapan. That pawn went quite far away. Let's see what happened here. Starting from this moment, this already we saw, and knight d3, king c2, and the black just captured the f4 pawn, and they equalize the quantity of the pawn. g3, knight d3 back, take, take, take. Seems like white's position is very good. They have a very dangerous passed pawn on a6. So with some miscalculations and with some errors, but later Anap already get back to doing the hard work mode, and he is having the advantage again. Then we have Safin against Xia. Safin is pawn up, but Xia has a compensation for that. Next we have girls action under 8. Shumanbaeva against Sivanandan Budhana. Seems like an equal position. Seems like an equal. Next we have Charvi against Berikizi Alana. Oh, the game is over already here. Charvi won the game. She is one of the best players in the tournament. We can easily say that. Congratulations to her. She has she had 5.5, so now she has 6.5 points out of 7. Next we have Shulpanbek against Machina Victoria with a very complicated game from the beginning. Next is Makhmudova against Rzadkovska. Last move was knight f4. Seems like the game will be over here soon. Rzadkovska is 2 pawns up, and now she is gaining some more material. So blacks are completely winning here. Rzadkovska is winning. Let's go to the open section under 12 again. On the board number 1, after king d1, what happened? Knight c7 happened, rook e1, queen b4, c3, queen b6, knight d2. Knight b5, knight b3. Yeah, the position for black is still, okay, let's say very bad. We have to say that. I don't like to use this word, but the position is very bad here for Ding. He is having 6 points out of 6, and of course he will do his best to don't lose this game. From other side, Uskov wants to win too much, as the opponent is for half of the point ahead. Next board we have Moahit-Sina against Sovinsky-Powell. So what happened here? Let's take a look. So this is a moment where we were saying knight d7. This is a moment. Instead of that, he played f6. And now we have this kind of position with the compensation. Moahit-Sina has a compensation here. Then Lysenkov against Besov. The same type of position, nothing special happening. Mamedov Edgar against Bukrev. a5 was the last move. Very interesting a5. Quite complicated position, quite complicated. Let's go to the girls section under 12. On the first board, Mgeladze played d5. Very interesting decision. Was it necessary or not? We will find it out soon. When the king is in the center, of course, it makes all the time it makes sense to keep it there as more as possible. So As the idea, d5 is a correct decision, but as a calculations, I hope Geladze did it also well and she is sure of what she is doing. Next board we have Ismailova Khanim against Shubhi Gupta. Yes, too complicated position. Then Merkulova against Kolyavko. The same type of position. Whites are exchange up for the moment when the black has a pawn for the exchange and also having some initiative, so it means that the position is almost equal, dynamically equal, otherwise any of the sides could win this game. Next board, next section we have open under 10 with Leo Patrick against Mendes Aaron. Yes, here is also nothing changing, h3, h4. I think that the opponents could agree on draw soon and the game could be done by agreement on draw. Let's see. Next board we have Unsal with a completely winning position. Next we have Guo Ethan against Shilon Rahav. And Rook h6, the move that we are talking about. Let's see how Shilon will react later. But I like White's position. Next we have Kleimanov against Kocharian. With a very big trouble for Kocharian. With a very big trouble. H-file is just shooting the black's king, so that's a very big advantage for White. It seems like Kleimanov will win this game. Next board we have Radzimsky against Dushatov. And Dushatov is trying to stop the opponent's attack. The last board to the review in this section, here we have Kuntelia, which is having almost winning position. Well done until now. Let's take a look how it was after Rook c4. Yes, White decided to play King e2, Black just capture and capture another pawn also. Now Blacks are pawn up and also the position is better, so technically the position is just winning. Let's go to the girls section under 10. Here on the first board we have Venskaya against Igoshkina. Venskaya started creating the problems. She started creating them. Now the knight is hanging on f4 and the problem is that the black does not have bishop e5 because of knight b5. Bishop takes b5 and bishop takes e5. With the very big problems for black. So on queen f3, if the knight goes, for example, on e6, I'm not sure that Venskaya will not capture on d5. We already know her very well. She is not afraid of anything and she is doing her best till the end and ready, always ready for the complications and the excellent fighter. So it seems like Venskaya is getting the advantage. Next board we have Sisko against Basari. Yes, we know here that the Sisko sacrificed the piece, but we can't see any compensation for that. So that was not a best decision to sacrifice the piece like that. Then we have Mirzahani against Myanmar. Again, with the absolutely same type of position, slightly better for White. And we have Zavivaeva against Anu. Anu who played knight f4 and the White did Rook e1. So White decided, wait a sec. So White decided to don't capture on d8. Zavivaeva decided to play Rook e1. So I think black has to capture on g2 and on rook e2. Let's play rook d2. Yeah, blacks are not risking anything there. Let's see if they can do more. The open section under 8. Again, the position is equal. It will be very difficult for black, for Shokjiev to win this game, but nothing is impossible with that guy. So Banerjee has to be with a high attention, as whites are not risking to win this game at all. They are not risking that. Okay, obviously it's equal. What else to say? Next board we have Larry Mark against Konovalov. Slightly better for white, but nothing special. Then we have Anapuredi against Ayapan, where it seems that Anapuredi will win the game soon. And the last to review in this section is Safin against Xie Joshua. Last move was queen c6. Nice. It's interesting what was before. Whites are in kind of trouble. They made their pieces stacked and now they are in trouble. Let's see how they continue there. Girls section under 8. Here we have Zhumanbayeva with white against Sivanandhan. Whites are pressing a little bit, but they have to be with a high attention because their pawn structure is very bad. So because of that pawn structure, I think that even the black's position is slightly better. Sivanandhan's position. Next board we know that Charvi won. Next board we have Mahina with black and with the white Cholpan back, with the same type of position, with the equal dynamical chances for both of the opponents. And the last board to review here is this, where Zatkovska is winning against Mahmudova. Let's take a look at a very interesting game in the open section under 12 between Uskov and Ding. Let's take a look at the last moves after this. Knight c7, rook e1, g5. g5 was the last move. And white refused to capture that pawn. They did not do like that in the game. They played knight g6. Rook g8 was forced. Take on f8. Blacks are in a very big trouble. So for example, if rook takes f6, there will be queen h7. Or queen g6 also possible. On queen h7, knight does not have any square to go more than on g8. And now the white has a choice. Okay, just a winning position. It's just a winning position for white. Uskov is winning against Ding. Next we have Movahetsina against Sovinsky. overhead Sina finally got some counterplay. I mean, some is compensation, some compensation, but he is still pawn down. Then Lysenkov against Besso. Here nothing special is happening. I will take a quick look at the girls section. Here blacks are thinking after d5. Here nothing is changing for now. And Merkulova against Holyavko, also nothing happening. Okay, dear chess friends, today we have a little bit quiet day, Nothing much is happening complicated, nothing much is happening in the games. It is like going on smoothly. So we will do the short break now and we'll be back to you soon.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში FIDE-ს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
ფიდეს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
And we are back from Batumi World Youth Championship under 8, 10 and 12. Open and the girls section with more than 750 players in the tournament from different 69 countries. Today we're having round number 7 after the rest day. So I go to the games directly. Here we have already first result in the open section under 12 where Uskov won the game against Ding. And he did actually a very good game. He's abstractly and in total he is doing a perfect chess and he is doing a very good tournament. He did only one draw and now he has 6.5 points out of 7 leading the tournament, and he just made the first step and the request being the champion in the tournament. Let's see how he will continue with the next 4 games that's left, but today he did very well. Let's take a quick look how he won this game in the end. So we were looking at the position in this moment. After that it was Queen H7, yes, and Queen G7. H6, yes, the pawn just goes. Blacks were forced to sacrifice the piece. Now they are just piece down. Okay. He just captured everything. Yes. Okay, easy win for White, for Uskov in this game. He just show up that he's like one of the best in the tournament, and let's see. Board number 2, we have Movahed against Sovinsky. Movahed, who lost the pawn in the opening, but later he tried to find out the chances, and now he is having the compensation for the being pawned down. But okay, he's still pawned down. Pawned down. It's not the best, it's not the best for him what he was expecting actually with the white colors in the opening. He became pawned down and just fighting for the compensation for it. And okay, everybody knows that that's not the best option for White to start the game in that mode, being pawned down and just looking for the compensation somewhere. But it could be worse. Now minus plus, he got some compensation. Next board we have Lysenkov playing against Beso Hussein. The position is slightly better for White. Next we have Mamedov against Bukraev. Mamedov lost e5 pawn but won b6 pawn. Now it is black to move, still with a very complicated position. Let's see what's gonna happen there. I think nobody knows that in advance. Girls action under 12. First board. We have Mgeladze against Kali Ahmed. Mgeladze is pawn up, but they went to the end game. End game was a very good option for black, but they lost the pawn for that. Let's take a look how it was. So after long castle, knight d7, d5, e5, take on c6, take on d6, take, and knight e5. And Geladze already played, she played bishop e2. This is a position. It will not be easy to win here for white. That's for sure, but they are pawn up. Technically, it's winning. So let's see if Mgeladze shows that techniques to us. Next board we have Ismailova against Shubhi Gupta. It's interesting what happened here. After knight g5. And after h6, the knight on g5 is trapped. So white played knight b6, d4. Take on d4, take on g5. Is there any compensation for being pawn down? Piece down? It's a very interesting question. I think after d5 the position could be complicated. This is how the white has to complicate the position. Otherwise they will be just piece down. Yes, that was in the game. d5. Ismailova played d5. Yeah, that's quite complicated and unclear position. Next board we have Merkulova against Kholyavko. And again, we know that in this game Kholyavko sacrificed the exchange for the pawn. We have the same type position, nothing much changed after that. And I think the compensation is like only for the being exchanged down, not more. And that's not also the fact that the black has the full compensation for being exchanged down. But if we talk about that the whites are winning, that's absolutely incorrect. It will be very difficult to win this game with white. So we can say that everything could happen in this game. Next, we have the open section under 10. The same fact we have to pay our attention on. We said about this game 15 moves ago that it smells like a draw, and here you are now it smells more. So I think it will be a draw. On the next board we have the result already. Vivan lost with black color against Unsal Gorkem. On the board number 3, Guo is playing against Shilon Rahav. Oh, somehow they trade the rooks also. How it happened? Interesting. Rook h6. And bishop c2. That was the last moment we saw this game. Then bishop c8, g3. Rook h1 back, yes. If the blacks are on time to play knight g6, then what's the rook doing on h6 anymore? Nothing. Also smells like a draw. Also smells like a draw. Next board we have Clayman of 1 against Kocharian. And next board with the 5 points, Radzimski playing against Dushat of Timur. The position also smells with a draw. And it's very interesting what is Kuntalia doing here with the black. He was pawn up, he is still pawn up. I will take a look at the last moves. After rook a4, take on b2, knight b3, queen b5. Okay, the position is technically winning. Another rook also enters on a2, and white could not hold this position for a long time. Girls action under 10. First board, here we have Venskaya against Igoshkina. Let's take a look how it was. After knight e6, we are saying in this position that Venskaya start creating the problems to the opponent. Let's see how it was later. On knight e6, she didn't capture. On d5, she played c4. So what's going on if the white just captures on d4? Bishop h3? That's the only thing that the bishop could capture with a discovered threat. But that's actually enough, because they are only one pawn down, and in that case everything will be equal. Yes. Next board we have Cisco against Basari. Basari is piece up for the 2 pawns. It will not be easy to win. Definitely it will not be easy to win. Somehow white activate all their pieces. So it will be quite difficult to win here with black. Already it will be very difficult, because there is a problem with d6 pawn also. That if the bishop goes somewhere, then that pawn is hanging, and 3 pawns is already too much for the piece. It's not like even the advantage for the piece. So let's see, Cisco woke up and start doing the good moves. Next board we have Mirzahani against Miyagmar. Blacks are in a big trouble. Blacks are in a very big trouble. Let's take a look how it was. Yeah, what to say? They are in a trouble. For that moment, we have a very interesting position between Zavivaeva and Anu. Let's take a look how it was. Yes, this was the position. So here we saw the position last time. After rook e1, we were saying knight takes g2 and then rook d2. Instead of that, Anu decided to play rook e8. Of course, it was much better to take on g2 and then play rook d2, because here blacks are just pawn down. Let's see what happened later. White lost too many tempos, and for that moment Anu is already attacking the king side pawns. Somewhere she did not the best moves. I'm talking about Zavivaeva. So g3, knight d3, rook takes e3, knight c5 check. Played king c2, take, check, and king a4. Sorry, knight a4. Now knight c4 check, king d5, and then b3 makes no big sense at all. So now it's c4, king d5, and maybe capture here immediately. Why not to capture it immediately? Just why not? Why b3? What for? What for b3? Okay, even after b3 and king d4, knight takes a5, knight b6, and why knight c6 check? Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, Christina. That's not the best. Why to do knight c6 check when the king goes anywhere, anyway there? So just play king d2, stop that king, and then play knight c6 anytime you like. Whites are just 2 pawns up. Just 2 pawns up, it means the position is just winning. Just winning. That's a huge mistake. Knight c6 was a huge mistake that the Zavivaeva played. And now the black's king is very active. If it is winning at all, it will be a very difficult to win. If it's winning at all. Has to be, but okay, okay, some moves has done there. So after knight d4 check, it was king g2, knight e2. Zavivaeva is not doing the best endgame today. She is not doing the best endgame at all. Like that, if she will continue like that, she could even do the draw, this position. Open section under 8. Let's take a look what's going on here. Yeah, still the same kind of position. Still equal. Okay, maybe it's time to do one draw in the tournament. Next board we have Larimark against Konovalov Timofey. And what is that? What is that? Whites are just queen up. If they are just queen up, they are just winning. How it was, let's take a look at that also. Playing a5 somewhere for black was just necessary. For example here, just play once a5. Just play once a5 and block the queen side. It's just necessary to do. Now or later it's necessary to do. Later it was already late. And the white got some active game on a file, yeah? For nothing. Blunder. Blunder happened. And that a pawn made the main job. Yeah, what to say? The position is just losing. So Larry Mark is winning this game. Then we have Anna Puredi also won against Ayapan. Anna Puredi is doing a good tournament. Next game we have Safin here against Xia Joshua. It is white to move. Looks like a draw. Looks like a draw because if the white will not start doing the checks, then the black has a lot of threats to the king, and if the white will start doing the checks, they couldn't do the checkmate, then they have to do the perpetual. But tricky position, let's see. Maybe Safin will create something, but he has to be careful. He has to be careful because in case he is not doing the draw, then the position could be quite risky. Next board here we have Zhumambaeva against Sivanandan. It is black to move. It's a crazy position on the board. Completely crazy. I even don't know what could happen here. I actually don't know, but okay, blacks are pawn up for now. And in case if they give even the h7 pawn, still the position for black will be okay because the white king is very weak. So for example, after knight e5 check, where the king goes is just unclear. Knight e5 check, and then the black also could push the d pawn. That will be the huge problem. And in case whites are capturing the h7 pawn, blacks are doing king e7, and the white need the time to get out from the square, h7 square with the knight, and then push the pawn. Or they have some tactics, okay, with giving that pawn, sacrificing, and then push h7. So that's why it's quite complicated. Anything could happen in this game. Next, Charvi won. We know that she won against Berikisi. Third board, we have Sholpanbek against Machina. With a very complicated position also. Mahmudova against Zatkovska. Mahmudova is losing again. Let's go back to the open section under 12. So we already know that the first board Uskov won. Second board we have Movahetsina playing against Sovinsky. And the same type of position, Lysenkov against Beso. Another interesting moment. Let's take a look. After rook b3 here, black played rook fc8. Rook g3. And here black decided to sacrifice. take on d2, so white capture and queen takes d2. Queen takes c2. Then they will try to push d pawn. Good decision from Bessel. Good decision. Instead of being passive and be in defense, he sacrificed the exchange and trying to get the initiative. If he will push the d pawn, then it will be the full initiative for the exchange. Good, well done, good decision. Then Mamedov playing against Bukrev. So Mamedov is piece up. Where he? No, he's not piece up. There is a bishop on g7. I thought that's a pawn. So he's very far away to be piece up. He's actually pawn down. He's pawn down, but for the compensation, it's enough what he has in the center, the very active bishop. So he has a compensation, but I think not more than the compensation. That's quite tricky position. He has to be careful to don't get a very bad position. Girls section under 12. Here we have Geladze Kesaria, where the opponent played knight g4. Okay, what to say? It's an advantage, of course. Whites are pawn up, but not easy to win. Next is Ismailova against Shubhi Gupta. What an interesting thing happened here. First, Ismailova sacrificed the piece. Then opponent sacrificed back the rook. Let's take a look at this. So after d5, knight takes d5, knight takes, yes. The opponent just sacrificed the rook. Now the opponent, I mean the black is exchanged down. But of course having some initiative connected to the what? Connected to what? It's very interesting. What's going on? Strange decision from Shubhi. So maybe the d5 was actually creating some problems to black, some serious problems. Now I like white's position more. Definitely I like the white's position more. They are exchange off, nothing dangerous. So it's technically winning position. I think Ismailova will win this game. Then we have Merkulova against Kholyavko. Last move was g5. Position is like this, so the point is that if the white captures there is just a queen c1 check him over. So after g5, I think white will play some queen e3. It will be very difficult to survive here for Kholyavko. Merkulova has a good chances to win the game. Open section under 8. It's just a draw. Yeah, it was a draw 20 moves ago. Next board we have the result. We know that Unsal won. Next board we have Go Ethan against Shilon. White king could be very dangerous. The knight on f4 and bishop e2 is holding the whole position, so it could be interesting to play king d4, but in that case blacks are going to play knight g4, right? And on bishop takes g4, king takes g4. Yes, blacks are fighting for draw, so let's see if they will do or Go will win this game. Next board we have the result. Clayman who won against Kocharian Vache. Next board we have in progress. This is Radzimsky against Dushatov Timur. And somehow Radzimsky became the pawn up, and very strong pawn. So Now the question is only one. The black could survive or not. They have to actually. And the next board goal is against Kuntelia. Kuntelia is thinking here. I don't understand what is so much to think. So on rook a2, he does not like knight c1. So what's wrong? Then we can just push first a5. Yeah, okay, I think he will do that on his own, as the position is very easy and just winning. Girls action under 10 we have on the first board Venskaya against Igoshkina. Venskaya did not want to simplify the position with queen takes d4 and make it a little bit complicated. But also, she has to be careful. She has to be careful, as if she will not get the initiative, then the position could be worse. So I think she has to play f4 now, with the idea of f5. Okay, they are still better for Venskaya. Next board, Cisco against Valeri. Here we are, Cisco won another pawn. And I think the position will go to draw here. Next we have Mirzahani against Miyagmar. It is black to move. Just a very bad position. Just a very bad position for black. Technically it seems just winning, but let's see how they will play there. Oh, here we have a very nice and unusual position between Savivaeva and Anu. Last move from white was king g2. Seems like anyway winning for Savivaeva. Yeah, she has to win this game. Let's see. Open section under 8. Shokjiev decided to sacrifice the pawn, which is not a bad idea at all. It's not a bad idea at all, as he can activate his king. Also, the pawn structure are very weak for white, so the last moves were like that. Yes, they have the full compensation. They are creating the problem, so the position for white is dangerous, but obviously it has to be drawn. Here Larry Mark won against Konovalov, and the next board Anna Puredi won. Safin beat Xia Joshua after 95. There is check. How it was in the end, it's very interesting. So so it was 95, immediately creating the checkmate threat. We don't have even the checks. Black does not have even the checks. Oh, that's then just losing, and Xia Joshua resigned. Let's go to the girls section under 8. Here on the first board we have Zhumanbayeva against Sivananthan. It is white to move. Very complicated game. I think it's just necessary to play knight g5. And if the black capture, okay, with a great pleasure. They could not capture second time because of h7. And I promote. So on knight g5, maybe black does not have to touch it. But what to do? Then the position is just bad. I think here Sivanandan did not play well. After all of this, she has to be active, not passive. Not rook g8. Not rook g8. d4 maybe. Why rook g8 and why not d4? Whose pawn will be better? Let's see. Okay, bishop from h5 is controlling. Okay, I'm not saying that it's definitely good for black, but at least it was interesting to do like that and to go to defense. On the second board, Charvi won, we know that. On the third board, Sholpalm back against Machina, tough game from the beginning till now. Mahmudova against Rzakovska. He's completely losing for white. And actually that's it. Let's take a quick look at the top boards again. So under 12 open section. First board, white won. Second board, Mohamed Sina is trying his best with the pawn down. He was pawn down from the opening. Next board here we have Lysenkov against Peso. Compensation for exchange. Then we have Mamedov against Bukrev. The last move was rook takes b2. And they are still pawn down, but can capture on a6. If it goes like that, that will be very close to draw again. But okay, the blacks are threatening with a very dangerous queen f2. I just mentioned that. Yeah, too complicated situation that nobody can tell us what's going on there and what will happen there. Next section, Gal section under 12. First board, Geladze against Kali Ahmed. Geladze for now is 2 pawns up. Okay, if she will play even rook g1, the position is technically winning here. Sorry, not rook g1. Rook g1 is just losing the rook. So definitely I will not play rook g1. Maybe I'll play h5. Or maybe king b1. Okay, let's see what Kesaria will help Gil. Yes, king b1. She did king b1. Rook a4. Here even b4, b5 makes sense, by the way. Okay, technically it's winning. Let's see if she could or not. Then, Ismailova against Shubhi. Here Ismailova is just exchange up now and having all chances to win the game. Next board, Merkulova against Holyavko. Merkulova has to win this game. Okay, and I will do the quick review, the rest of the sections. I will take a look at only first board and then we can do the short break. So for now on the first board, Mendes and Leo Patrick, they agreed on draw as we were saying. Second board, Unsal won. Let's go to the girl section under 10. Here first board is in progress. Venskaya against Igoshkina. Nobody wants to do the draw here. They're gonna fight till the end, that's a fact. On the next board we have Cisco against Basari. It will be very difficult to win here with the black. Next is Mirzahani against Myanmar with a winning position. And here you are, Zavivaeva against Anu. Here you are, draw, in a completely winning position for Zavivaeva. Some relax and that's it. The result gone. This is happening like that always. You have to relax only when your opponent will stop the clock and resign. Until that, it's just necessary to be focused on 100%. Here we have Shokgio playing against Banerjee. Banerjee is doing a good game, by the way. He's doing the good game. Let's see, now h4 pawn is hanging, so on king g3 I think that Shokgio wants to play g5. That is of course the good move. Yes, let's see, it also smells like a draw, but let's see. Larry Mark won the game, we know that. And the girls section under 8. Shumambaeva against Sivanandan Bodhana. So Shumambaeva got the advantage, she got the advantage. But if it is winning to win, if it is enough to win the game, let's see. Charvi won. Okay, dear chess friends, now we will do another break and we'll be with you with the final part of the games and summarize the today's round. See you soon.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო
ფიდეს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
ფიდეს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.
Hello one more time, dear chess friends. We are back and we will summarize today's round as a lot of games are already over. We will start with the open section under 12. We know that the first board ended up the game actually quickly, where Uskov won against Ding. On the second board, after the long fight, the Sovinsky got the technically winning position. He did, after the opening, he did very well. In the opening, he won the pawn. Later, for some part, he was not doing the best moves, but then he get back again to the working mode. And now he is having the extra exchange without any compensation for white. Yes, blacks are just exchange up. Next board we have Lysenkov against Besov. Lysenkov is exchange up. We know that Besov sacrificed that exchange, and for now he played d4. It's a very interesting position we are having here. It will be very difficult to survive with black. For example, rook a8 check, king h7 and a5. I think black has to play rook a4. Maybe there will be this position after rook d8. Sorry, rook d8. And if the black will capture this pawn, white will capture this. And this will be the position. h5, for example. It will be difficult but not unprotectable position for black. So mostly it will be more actually draw than the white to win. But let's see. In the game we already have the moves. Yes, so white decided to do rook d8 immediately instead of a5. So black will just capture that pawn on a4. And then rook e4 is possible to play. And of course whites are winning that pawn. The question is the last position, that with the exchange up, 3 pawns against the 4 pawns and the bishop, black has a good chances to survive there. Next board we have Mamedov against Bukrev. Last move was knight e6. So I don't understand what's going on sorry, what's the position? The position is like this. Why rook is on d1? I don't understand. Rook is not on d1. Rook is on a1. Wait a sec. This was the position, and the white played rook a1. Strange. Why not taking on e6? C7 is hanging. Pardon me, I was just thinking that this and this, but in that case, black can just capture on c7. And this is not good for white, of course. So, Mamedov refused to capture on e6 with the bishop also, because after this and this, there will be rook takes c7. And in this case, just rook c1 with winning position for black. So that's why Mamedov decided to play rook a1 and rook c6. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Something is, I think something is wrong here with the position. Why to do like that? Wait, was it a some kind of accident? Otherwise, why to play rook c6? I think that's some mistake, because in this case, white will just of course they will just capture the rook. Yeah, I can't say anything about this move. Rook c6. I think it could not be done. Maybe rook takes c7, that makes more sense. But not rook c6. So let's see, what do we have here? We have another position. So let's take a look. I think there was some errors, and now it's fixed. Bishop c7, knight e6. Bishop takes e6 was first, not the rook a1. Take, then rook a1, rook c6. This is a position. This is the position. Whites are pawn down, but they have the compensation. Let's take a quick look at Movahed-Sina's game. Yeah, what to say? What to say? Whites are just losing here, and nothing interesting is happening. Girls under 12 on the first board. Mgeladze won against Kali Ahmed. Very important victory for Mgeladze. Here, Ismailova won against Shubhi Gupta. So we have a leader of the tournament with the 6.5 points. This is Mgeladze. And then with the 6 points, we have Ismailova there. Next board, Merkulova won against Holyavko. Nice ending of the game. So it's very interesting to find out the ranking. I will just take a look at that now. In the girls section, under 12, as all top boards ended up the game, let's take a look what's going on there. So Mgeladze has 6.5 points, Ismailova has 6 points, and there is no more 6-pointers, as only one player with the 5 points, that was Holyavko and Ismailova, who already won, and I said. And as Merkulova won against Holyavko, it means that there is only one player with a 6.5 point, and this is Mgeladze Kesaria, and there is only one player with the 6 points. This is Ismailova Khanim. So it is very interesting and very important and decisive game gonna happen tomorrow. That will be Mgeladze and Ismailova playing between each other. Let's go to the open section under 10. Here we have draw on the first board. Second board, Unsal won. Third board is in progress, but nothing interesting. Sorry, no, that's interesting. That's interesting. It's not like nothing interesting is happening here. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. White's got some chances to win the game. Of course, it will be still very difficult, but anyway. So black has to capture here. Capture. And then maybe knight d2, but after b4 it will be a problem. No, blacks are in trouble. Blacks are in trouble. We have some moves played in the game. Let's take a look. Oh, what a strange thing. So b3, knight a5. Knight is very passive there. Knight b3. I don't understand. Capture. Wait, and if the black will play a3? What's going on? The super huge blunder? Oh my god, oh my god. Wow, that's a luck. That's a big luck for black. The biggest luck. Wow. That's the biggest luck. When the opponent is blundering like that, that's the biggest luck. Yeah, what to say? No words, no comments. After the super huge blunder, whites are losing the game. Moment where they had a good chances to win. Instead of that, after the huge blunder, they are just losing the game. All other games are over there in the top boards. Let's go to the girl section under 10. Here we have Venskaya against Igoshkina, and the Venskaya has the amazing pawn on f7. An amazing pawn on f7. How it goes to there? Let's take a look. Let's take a look from here. Yes, queen g5, g4, and bishop on d3. What was next? Next was f6, which maybe was absolutely unnecessary. Excellent moving with the bishop from d3 to d5. Yes, what to say. Venskaya is one of the talented girls in this tournament. One of the best players, that's for sure. The position for white is just winning. We can say it like that. It is just winning with the pawn on f7, and this is an extra pawn. This is an extra pawn, and this is on f7. The position is just winning for Venskaya. Next board we have Cisco against Valeri. Oh, Valeri captured a lot of pawns on the king side. A lot of pawns. So this is just winning. Yeah, that's just winning for black. So Valeri is winning this game. Next we have the game over between Mirzakhani and Miakbar with the checkmate on h4, and Zavivaeva Anu. Zavivaeva against Anu did the draw. So that was that was just winning for Zavivaeva. We talk about that a lot of times. Here, instead of knight c6, just to play king d2 with the two extra pawns, and that's it. Okay, let's go to the open section under 8. Here we have Banerjee playing against Zhogzhiev. Sorry, Zhogzhiev is the correct pronunciation. That's amazing how this guy is doing the chess in age of 8. He's playing like a grandmaster. Step by step, step by step, step by step, improving all the time. But Banerjee is also playing well this game. He's also playing well. So it is very difficult to say what's going on here next. But the black also has chances, of course has chances to win the game. The problem is a dancing king, so maybe queen c8. There will be not a lot of checks, and just in case f5 pawn will be also protected. So let's take a look only at this thing, that if it is okay for black, then queen c8 is okay. So queen f8, for example. b4. Take on b4, a5. b3, a6, b1, a7, b1 queen, a8 queen, take on f6. It has to be winning, there will not be the perpetual check. Okay, so queen c8 makes sense. Let's see what happened in the game. Oh, exactly that happened in the game? Yes, that's what happened in the game. So in the game we have this position now. White, no. In the game they capture on f6 and black capture on f6. It's just winning. The queen's endgame here has to be winning if some miracle will not happen. So, wow, Zhogzhiev will have 7 points out of 7. This is a very big step ahead. Yes, it's going to be a very long game, I think so, but in the end the result will be 0-1 because obviously the position is winning. There will not be any perpetual checks. There will not be any perpetual checks. Next is Larry Mark against Konovalov. Larry won. Here Safin won against Xia Joshua, so all the games are done here. Let's go to the girls section under 8. Here we have in progress Zhumanbayeva playing against Sivanandan. Last move was b5. Why b5? So it was a5, b5. Yes, now it's clear. Seems like just losing after king d5. There is nothing dangerous happening at all. After king d5, it's just winning for Sivanandan. So Zhumanbayeva is losing this game. The game that was like that. White anyway lost this game. Oh, they blundered the pawn? Oh, too many blunders today. Too many blunders today. Too many blunders. That's too much for the top boards. So instead of playing bishop f7, she could do anything else. For example, move with the king. King d3, king d4. Instead of that, bishop f7, rook h8, and then bishop h5 back, just losing the so important pawn. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. It's just losing. Next board, Charvi won. Next board, Chopin Beck did the checkmate in that game against Machina Victoria in the opening, which was lovely opening for the Robert James Fischer. We were talking about that. On the next board, Mahmudova lost against Zatkovska. Okay, let's go to the open section under 12 again, where Movahetsina is no, he lost. He is not playing already. He lost. Lysenko we have against Beso. That has to be the draw. That has to be the draw. That will be a long game. Mamedov Edgar. Wait, what? After rook c6, take on, no, rook a4, bishop f8, take on d6, bishop takes d6, and black agreed on draw. Wait a sec. Why? Mr. Bukreev, why you agreed on draw? a6 is hanging, so let's take a look. So if the black will capture like that, there will be this. Here we agree with you. What's going on if you capture with this 7th rook? Like this. You are afraid that after rook e7 it will not be good at all. I can understand that. I can understand that fear. So for example, rook c8, then rook b7. But then I have rook d2. Okay. What to say, okay? That's his decision, but I think here it was possible to play until after this. Okay, at least it's fact that the blacks are not risking anything, right? So rook e7 check. Yeah, because if the white captures on d6, okay, what to say? It's just an extra pawn. I can put my rook on f6 and then move with the king to the queen side. Okay, maybe it is still draw, but let the white do that. White to be angry. Anyway, let's draw on that board. So here all the games are over. In the girls section we have the same on the top boards. So mostly all the games are over. Dear chess friends, today we had a quiet day without any surprises in the opening, but a lot of surprises later with blunders, which is actually better if we don't see them on the rest of the days, because it is a pity thing when you are in the top of the tournament and you are losing the game because of the huge blunder. Anyway, I will wish to all the leaders the luck, and I wish them to do their best, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
ბათუმი 15-28 სექტემბერი სოფლიო ჩემპიონატი ჭადრაკში ფიდეს ყველაზე პრესტიჟული ღონისძიება მოზარდთა შორის სოფლიოს 69 ქვეყნის ნიჭიერი და წარმატებული 783 მოჭადრაკე აზიის, ამერიკის, აფრიკის და ევროპის კონტინენტებიდან ითამაშე ჭადრაკი ბათუმში გახდი საუკეთესო მსოფლიოში
ხარული ვარ რომ წელს ბათუმი მასპინძლობს ჭადრაკის მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატს მოზარდთა შორის მინდა მივესალმო თითოეულ მონაწილეს და წარმატებები უსურვო.
FIDE-ს სახელით მსოფლიო ჩემპიონატის ყველა მონაწილეს ვუსურვებ წარმატებას.